Hello and welcome back to the Gaming Tech channel, everybody. We're live on YouTube and Twitch, and here we are with our Forza Horizon 5 series. We're in the 2013 Mercedes-Benz E63. This thing is a 5.5 liter twin turbo, and it's got all-wheel drive, 7-speed, and this car is still bone stock. We won this yesterday in a championship. So today we'll be driving it a little more, and we are going to be putting more power in it and making it pretty light at the same time, because right now it's super heavy. It's over 4,200 pounds. And the 7-speed kind of shifts slow because it's from 2013. That's to be expected. But soon we're going to be taking care of all those issues. Sounds like a freaking monster. Too bad they got rid of this engine now. They replaced it with 4-liter twin turbo plus hybrid motors. But this was the real deal back in the days. This car's got the classic E-Class look. That sleek body. Long wheelbase. It's just perfect. The newer E-Class looks more round compared to this one, where this one is more like of a boxy look. The transmission is honestly not super slow shifting. It shifts fine, but the gear ratios are really long. So let's do a launch in our stock E63. Since the gear ratios are kind of long, it doesn't really launch that hard. But there is a way to make it launch harder, and that is by just, you know, dumping the clutch. Spins up all fours, and it just goes. I wonder how it's gonna sound after we put an exhaust on here. It's really gonna wake up the V8. Right now it's pretty muffled because, you know, we have the stock exhaust plus twin turbos. Turbos always muffle the exhaust sound. We might hit 200 in 5th gear. And there's 200 right at the limiter. Almost there. 199. Alright. So it does 199 in 5th gear. But it does 200 right when you shift into 6th gear. We hit the sweet 200 mark. So from factory, this is a 200 mile per hour car, which is really nice. To a 5. I don't think it's gonna go any higher than that, unless we hit a little downhill here. the downhill, yeah, about 209, 210. So since this car has a big V8 up front with turbos and it's all-wheel drive, it does have a little bit of understeer. I did mention that yesterday. It drives almost like an RS6. This guy really has a V12 in there. I can hear it. That's not the stock engine. Dude really put a V12 in that AMG GT. I mean, doesn't really matter, I guess. Alright, let's go ahead and modify this car now. Oh wow, we're running low on cash right now. We spent all our money on like buying new cars and modifying them. We gotta make our money back up. So we'll focus on that later. But for now, I think we have enough to modify this car. And let's start with... no, we're not putting a V10 in here. Not gonna happen. Nope. Never. Never ever. We could make it rear-wheel drive. Do I really want to do that? No, I don't think so. It would be more fun though. It would slide around much better. And it would be lighter. And we would get rid of the understeer. It would be an oversteer monster then. But before we do all that, let's just do some weight reduction here. Because it's heavy. 4227. Wait, what am I saying? 4277. Bro, my mind is somewhere else right now. It's on planet Mars. I need to bring it back here. Yeah, we'll be down to 3391, which is pretty light for all-wheel drive. Now imagine if you make it rear-wheel drive and put lighter brakes and lighter wheels on here. It would be pretty close to 3,200 pounds, and even though 3,200 pound is like not the lightest weight for a sports car or a sedan, but for this big AMG, I think that is considerably light. So let's do the race weight reduction here and get rid of 886 pounds. Perfect. And now we are gonna make it lowered. It looks so much better lowered. It improves the handling, it improves everything. Doesn't really hurt anything. I like the stance when it's lowered. So yeah, we're gonna go with the race springs and dampers. Plus they're lighter than stock, so we're down to 3386. Nice. It doesn't really have any body roll, so I'm not gonna make it more stiff by adding anti-roll bars here. As you can see, it's kind of hurting the handling. That might be due to making the suspension too stiff. Oh wait, this is gonna add weight. Chassis reinforcement, we don't really need that. It's a sedan. The chassis is already pretty rigid. Lighter brakes, yeah, we are gonna get lighter brakes, or better brakes if you want to call that. That's a good weight reduction right there. We'll be down to 3,319 pounds. Okay, that's good. And let's put a 10 speed on here. I know the newer E-Class, I believe, has a 9 speed from factory. I'm pretty sure it's got a 9 speed. But since we have the option for 10 speed, we are going to go with the 10 speed here. We can always customize the ratios after if you feel like 10 gears are too much. So that's not a problem. Lighter drive shaft. We knocked off another 10 pounds. And we need a race diff. So it puts the power down even better. So far we haven't added any power. It's still stock. We've just made the car lighter and added a better transmission. Before we exit our garage here, I do want to put some lighter wheels on here. Although I love the look of the stock wheels. The stock wheels actually look really nice on this car. But I'm just going to go with something light. So the lightest wheel we can get on here is minus 41 pounds. And as we all know, when you change your rotors to lighter rotors for brakes, and when you add lighter wheels and a lighter drive shaft, that's all rotational mass. So the mass that spins, you know, as we know, once things start spinning, it increases in mass. So if you decrease that weight to begin with, we're gonna get some nice performance gains. Less rotational mass equals faster car. Oh, now, here's the thing. I don't want to put a tuner wheel on here. This looks pretty close to factory. We want something that's light and matches the car's vibe. So it has to be minus 41 pounds. This actually looks pretty decent, even though it's chrome. Or brushed aluminum, if you want to call that. So let's look for a wheel that's minus 41 pounds plus something that looks half decent or full decent. No, I don't want it to look tuner. I want it to look classy. I'll be honest with you, these wheels kind of suit the car. They almost look like the factory wheels. But what I don't like about these wheels is you only see 4 bolts on them. So it's like a 4-lug pattern. It's like older Honda pattern. And that doesn't suit the car because car from factory has 5 lugs. So I don't know if I want those. These wheels don't look that bad on this car. Yeah, the spokes are a little too skinny, but not bad. This might be a nice option. Bunch of spokes. Yeah. Might go with this. It looks kind of classy. It looks sporty and classy at the same time. No, I don't like the look of that. Oh, that looks too tuner. Oh, dude. The wed sport. The wed sport. Should we go with the wed sports? I get these wheels on every single car, man. I need to get something different. Alright, the ones that we looked at earlier. The ones with a bunch of spokes. Yeah, these right here. These actually kind of suit the car. Let's go with this wheel right here. And we're not making the tires, I mean the wheels wider right now. Because we're not adding any power. All we have done is just reduce the weight and add a 10 speed. So that's going to be the setup. It's going to give us more grip, less weight. Car should shift a lot faster and it should drive like a newer AMG. Lighter and I mean, the new AMGs are not any light compared to this one. They're almost the same, honestly. But it should shift much faster. Plus, having less weight should feel even faster than stock. But we're not adding any power just yet. Maybe we'll add the exhaust so we can hear the V8 properly. So from factory, it makes more torque than horsepower. So it makes 590 torque, 577 horsepower. So those are some really nice numbers. And let's not forget, this car's all-wheel drive from factory. So there is some drivetrain loss when it comes to all-wheel drive. It's more than rear-wheel drive. I'm pretty sure if we convert it to rear-wheel drive only, it's gonna be much lighter. We're already at 3281, so it might drop close to 3100 pounds. But we might do that later. Not yet. So this is the stock exhaust. And now the sport exhaust. Honestly, the stock sounded better than sport. I don't know why. Let's check out the race exhaust. Okay. This is the one we're gonna go for. Plus it's lighter. Should we also get an intake? So we can hear the turbos more. Yeah, that definitely increased the induction sound. And now we're over 600 horsepower and 600 torque. 603 horse, 617 torque. And the weight is almost 3,200 pounds, 3,207. All right, that's the setup we're going with for now. And I feel like it should perform really well. Again, we barely added any power. And the tires are still stock. The 10 speed should make a good difference here, a significant difference. Alright, we're gonna do a launch. Man, it sounds so good when you try to launch it. You can tell this car is a little lighter now. Maybe not a little lighter, a lot lighter. Looks real good, man. I love the shape of this car. So we're easily hitting 210 now. Before we were struggling to get up to 200 miles. Okay, I feel like I need to work on the gear ratios here. The stock gear ratios on this 10 speed are not really working out for this engine. So I'm gonna make the final drive long. And let's see how it does now. So we should be topping out in 6th gear. But we can always adjust each gear individually later on. But for now, let's see what happens if we make the final drive longer. Each gear should get longer. Okay. We're gonna leave the final drive all the way towards speed. So some long ratio there. But I'm gonna make the first gear shorter. So we get the feeling of harder acceleration off the line. And the rest can stay the way they are. So now our 0 to 60 is 3.1 seconds, and that's still on the stock tires. And for our 6th gear, I'm gonna make that short as well, like a little shorter. So it can carry all that power from the 5th gear. Alright, let's see how it does now. Third is too long. Third is way too long, so I'm gonna make third shorter. Fourth is alright. We don't need to adjust the 4th gear here. Alright, let's do another run. Yeah, still too long. Still a little too long for my liking. That should be good. That should be just perfect. Now we're gonna have that super short 6th gear. I like that. And the 7th is gonna be a little longer. That's fine. 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th can be highway gears. That's totally fine. It's not that short. I mean, it's not that long. It's just right. I feel like we got the gear ratios pretty dialed in right now. Yeah, they're pretty dialed in. Now we can go back and add some more power. Should we just max it out now? I think we could. Fuel system. Ignition. We already did the intake and exhaust, so cams, this is gonna make a big difference. Right. So 99 horsepower, man. That's a big difference right there. You should be able to rev much higher. And as we all know, if you rev higher, you make more horsepower. So now this thing's gonna be flying. 730 horsepower, 662 torque. So putting cams on this engine finally gets our horsepower up, and we make more horsepower than torque. That's fine. A bigger block, so we can get up to 6.3 liters. That's nice. Better pistons, more compression. Do we want anti-lag? I feel like it's gonna get too rowdy. This is a classy car, classy sedan, so I don't want flames coming out of it. I think we're just gonna get the regular race turbos, race twin turbos, which adds extra 77 horses. Bigger intercooler to cool those turbos. To cool the air that's coming from those turbos. Not to cool the turbos itself. As we know, cooler air, more horsepower. Race oil cooling to keep everything nice and cool, yes. Lighter flywheel, again, this is rotational mass. The engine should be able to rev up much quicker with the lighter flywheel. So you can kind of hear the difference. It revs much freely. So here we have the engine fully maxed out, and we still have stock tires and the width. So compound and the width is still stock, so that's fine for now. We will work on that later. I just want to see how it's gonna be able to put the power down with the stock tires, stock compound, stock width. So we're just shy of 900 horsepower and a little bit over 800 foot-pounds of torque. And these are some nice solid numbers. And if we were to make this car rear-wheel drive, let's see how much weight are we gonna lose. Okay. Like 150 pounds. Not bad, not bad. Should we do that? It's gonna have trouble hooking up. And we still have the stock tires, so we might do that later. For now, let's just see how it does. Man, these German cars look so good in silver. Still hooks up really good with the stock tires, thanks to the all-wheel drive. So before, this car was only revving up to like 6,900, 7,000 RPM. And now, it goes to about 71, 7,200 RPM. What a torque monster, man. $240 miles per hour and a 900 horsepower Benz. Sounds about right. $242, $243. Oh, we actually got this, oh. Well, I was looking down at the dash. What we have here is the, red line, LEDs. What do you call these again? Shift light. Yep, we got the shift light on here. But here's the thing. That shift light was only good with the stock cams. Since we can rev higher now, the shift light comes on kind of early. It wants us to shift around like 6,200 RPM. Well, if you look down at the tach inside the car, or RPM gauge, and that also wants us to stop revving around, what, 6,500 RPM? Or not even 65, it's before 65. 6,250. So that's when the lights start flashing. Yeah, right before we hit the red zone. So the shift light is pretty dialed in with the tach inside the car. That's a cool feature. Here's the thing, this car has no drama, man. I think we should switch to rear-wheel drive. Yeah, I'm gonna switch to rear-wheel drive here. So we can slide this thing around. It's not gonna be like a full-on drift car by any means, but it's gonna feel lighter. There's gonna be less drivetrain loss. Because all-wheel drive drivetrain loss is about like 25 to 30%. Could be less, but with rear-wheel drive, it should be close to, 10 to 15%. So we lose less power. But that also means less grip. So as we can see, the front gets a little lighter, gets to 52% weight in the front and 48 at the back. So the weight distribution gets better. That means less understeer, because all the all-wheel drive cars, well, not all, but if you have all-wheel drive, the car will tend to understeer depending on the power distribution of the differentials. So by having it only rear-wheel drive, it's gonna be an oversteer monster, and I think that's gonna suit the AMG badge. We wanted to have a little bit of drama. And since we're sending all that power to the rear wheels, we are gonna need better tires now. So I think we should go with the slick race tires. Our 0 to 60 will be 4.1 seconds. So like a complete second slower than what it was with the all-wheel drive. Again, let me double check here before I even install the install the rear-wheel drive here. So it was actually 2.8 with our current setup. 2.8 0 to 60, 5.1 0 to 100, And by adding our rear-wheel drive setup, it goes up to 5.2 seconds. I feel like that's happening because we might need to get the 10 speed again. Yeah. So switching to rear-wheel drive gets rid of our 10 speed. It goes to 6 speed. Even though stock was 7 speed all-wheel drive, and then we switched to 10 speed with the all-wheel drive. But now once we switched it to rear-wheel drive setup, it got rid of our 10 speed and it switched to 6 speed by default. So I am gonna add 10 speed again. We're gonna add lighter drive shaft again. We're gonna add the race differential. And now we can add stickier tires. Stickier compound. So we go down from 5.8 because 5.8 is pretty bad. That is some bad numbers right there, man. Those are really bad numbers. But if you go with drag radials, drag tire compound, it gets even faster compared to our all-wheel drive setup. 2.7 only. But then it won't be able to steer. I want this car to be able to steer. So let me just go ahead and get the slick race tire compound. And make the rears wider. 315s. Let's make the front widers as well, so we can brake better and take the turns easily. Okay. And now once we get it back on the road, we'll tune the transmission, because we're gonna have to tune the transmission again since we changed it to rear-wheel drive and we had to get the 10 speed again. So here's our new setup. I know we keep on changing setups because I really wasn't happy with the all-wheel drive setup. With the rear-wheel drive setup and better tires, our lateral G's are going up, our weight's going down, and it should feel much different. It should feel like a whole new car. And again, we haven't tuned the transmission yet. Let me just tune it right now before we even leave the garage. So I'm gonna make the gears all the way long. So our 0 to 60 now is 4.2 instead of 5.8. Much better already. Okay. We converted this all-wheel drive AMG to rear-wheel drive only. I think it should be a lot more fun now. Again, it's not a drift setup. It's gonna be a nice all-rounder car. We can drift with it, we can race with it. It'll do everything. It actually has decent traction, even with the rear-wheel drive setup. It hooks up in second gear. And these are just your slick race tires, not drag racing tires. It feels so much different. Yeah, it has less grip, but there is no understeer. It's all oversteer now. So before, our top speed was around like 240 miles. It should do more than that easily. Maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. I think it'll do 250. $246, not bad. 245, 246. Yeah, those are some good numbers. Look at that. We're able to slow down and turn at the same time. You cannot do that with the all-wheel drive. The understeer would just take you right into the guardrail. And now we can also do little drifts or big drifts depending on how much throttle we're giving. It wasn't able to do that before. Now we can have some real fun with it. Let's chase down that GT3 RS. I believe that was a GT3 RS. Want to race, bro? That blow-off valve sounds real good. I think there's a problem. The problem is our first 6 gears are kind of short. They need to be a little longer. We don't have all-wheel drive anymore, so the gear ratios need to be a little different. Like first gear needs to be long. Second needs to be long. Third needs to be longer. Fourth as well. And then fifth. And sixth. And oh, seventh. Eighth. Ninth. And then 10th. Alright, let me try this setup out. Let's just do a roll. That's better. Much better. Is that truck going to be faster than us? Let's see. Let's find out. We'll do a roll. Might be faster, might be slower. There's only one way to find out. Bro, you wanna race? He doesn't wanna race. Well, I'm not racing a hypercar. Is that a supercar? That might be just a supercar. Of course, that thing weighs like nothing. That's not even a match. We need to find a good match. Plus, we were never racing him. We need to find a decent car under 1,000 horsepower, about the same weight as this thing, so around 3,200 pounds. A Hellcat will be a nice match. No, that is not a good match either. I feel like this engine only benefits from having longer gears. So I'm gonna make 4th long, 5th long, and 6th even longer. And then 7th will be your top gear. Yeah. We don't need to use the other 3 gears. This is gonna be a 7-speed again. So 8th, 9th, 10th are useless. We're back to the original gear quantity here, which was 7-speed. Now it's back to 7-speed on a 10-speed. Yep, the car likes longer gears better. And that's also because this engine doesn't make all its power at the peak. It makes all the torque in the mid-range. So that's why it benefits from longer gears. If it was like a Lamborghini or like a Honda engine where it makes all the power at the peak, that's when he really benefits from having sharper gears, short gears. Because you always want to keep it at the rev range, like at the top of its rev range. But when you have turbos that make all the power in the mid, you can easily get away with having longer gears. Turbos are a supercharger. So as you saw, we were easily able to get up to 244 miles with longer gears. But it was struggling with short gears because it doesn't make its power at the peak. It makes the power in the middle of the RPM band. Sounds so good. Has so much torque down low, man. That V8 rumble. The engine is barely working. We're at 1100 RPM, 1200. Cruising at 90 miles per hour. Which is about 150 kilometers. That's pretty good, man. Pretty good. So much torque. We're doing 120, which is 200 kilometers, 120 miles per hour. And we're barely at like 1800 RPM. This is really good for road trips. You're cruising down the highway, engine is barely working, and you can go at some decent speeds. Alright. I think I want to work on the gear ratios a little more. What if we make the first 3 gears short and make like 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th relatively long, and make 8th, 9th, 10th even longer for like highway driving. So let's start with a really sharp first gear to, you know, accelerate off the line. And another sharp gear. Second gear will be kind of sharp. And then third. Just like that. And fourth will be our first like decent long gear, you know. And fifth, another long gear. Okay, fourth is a little too long. Yeah, let's do that. Yep. And we're gonna have the 8 kind of short, and 9th and 10th will be like your highway gears. Perfect. Alright, I'm just trying different things out. That's much better. So we have first 3 gears for acceleration off the line. And then 4 to 6 would be your mid-range gears. Where it's gonna gain its top speed. Like we should be able to do the top speed by the end of 6th gear. Or 7th. And then 8th, 9th, 10th are just for highway driving only. Nice. Thanks, bro. Once we shift into 9th gear, RPMs are gonna drop, and they're gonna drop even more in 10th gear. So 10th is the best gear for highway driving now. We got the longest ratio possible with the 10th gear. Alright, bro wants to race, so we'll give the AMG a break. Let's switch to a different car. We've been playing around with the AMG for an hour now. What car should we race this guy with? I'm thinking the Camry? Or let's go with the Supra. Camry is also pretty fast. Let's see if the Supra is fast enough to race that dude. I launched a little early, but that's fine. I think I would have won anyway, because I'm gaining on him. He said, nice car. Thanks, bro. Thank you. We beat him easily, even though we launched a little early. My bad. I didn't mean to launch a little early. But either way, our car is faster. Damn, those pops. Let's do a roll. I'm coming for you. let's see what car he changes to now. Should be fun. Seems like a good online player, man. He actually went on the third honk, where most people just go on the second honk, like how I did. I didn't mean to, but it just happened. But he's playing it pretty fair. I like that. So next time when he honks, we're really gonna leave on the third honk. Oh, dude, C6? That looks like a fast C6, bro. That was a great launch by both of us. We all left after the third honk. We're finally gaining on him. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That was a great race. What a fair race, dude. I love races like that. When it's super fair, everybody launches at the third honk or after the third honk. And he actually stayed in. He stayed in. Even though he saw that I was going to pass him, he stayed in. Most people will just let off their throttle because they know they're going to get passed. This dude's really playing it fair. Good for him, man. He wants to do a 40 roll. He's playing it so fair. Alright, I'm gonna give him a head start this time. I'll start after him. He launches better than me, that's for sure. But I got better top end. No way! That's neck to neck! What a great race! Alright, I'm switching my car. Let's switch to the Camry. It has less horsepower, but it launches much better. Because it has all-wheel drive, right? 300 less horsepower compared to the Supra. But the launch is on point. 1.40 to 60. Wiper! Wow. With side exhaust? Nice! Dude, we left at the same damn time! Oh no, I crashed. Wait for me, bro. Alright, he might switch to something slower. That's just my guess because he's playing it really fair. Oh no, he's back. I should have just stuck with the Supra. That's okay. I'll switch back to the Supra after this race. I think the Supra and the Viper should be a really good race. Alright, let me switch back to the Supra again. Bro, I really wanted to race the Viper with the Supra. Let's see what he comes up with now. Come on, Supra, you got this. Come on, Supra, you got it. Oh no, man. Got messed up there. We need a rerun. I think I was about to pass him. This is a legit player right here, bro. Good job, bro. You're playing it really fair. I'm proud of you. Come back, bro. Come back. Let's have some more fun. I wanted to do a proper race with the Viper. Oh, he's back with the Viper. Yay. Oh no, that's not the Viper. He's back with the freaking Supra. He's got a hood exit exhaust. Come on, Viper. I mean, what am I saying? Come on, Supra. Alright, my setup is better. I think he just has like one of those generic setups they can download. I tuned my thing on my own, bro. So that's the difference right there. Self-tuning versus just getting a tune from the Forza store. I think his big wing was slowing him down. Or maybe he just has the wrong gear ratio setup. Who knows? Only he would know what's up with his car. All I know is that my Supra is faster. I'm impressed. That looks like a drift Supra, where my Supra is like a drag build. Bro, this X5 needs to chill. He's flashing his high beams at me like I'm gonna move out of his way. No, I'm not, bro. I'm staying right here until this race starts. Get away, bro. Hey, what's up? Thanks for joining. He got a better launch, but let's see what his top end is like. Can we pass him again? Oh yeah, we should be able to pass him easily. He's slowing down already. Oh man! I was gonna pass him, but I crashed. He even said nice car because he knew I was coming in hot, but hey bro, thanks for subscribing. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, we got him, we got him, we got him, oh no! we got him, we got him, we got him easily. We got him. Let me get back into it. We got him. We got him. We got him. Oh yeah, buddy, that was a great race. Want to race again, bro? Oh, he's changing his car. This should be fun. This should be fun. Oh, look at that. Mercedes, eh? That must be fast. I don't know. It must be light and fast. Who knows? Let's find out. My launch was so trash. Well, that car looked light, and now we know it's not just light. It's light and fast. And when you got a light and fast car, it's hard to beat, man. Wow, we're doing 280? No way. Those are some solid numbers, man. 280 miles per hour. I need to do a roll race with that car. I think I have a better chance if we do a roll race instead of a dig. Alright, another dig. That's fine. We'll do a dig race. I launched early, and he still got me. No way. That's a nice car that he got. 300. It's a Mercedes 300 something. I don't know the entire name of it. That is a pretty fast car, man. Alright, do I have anything faster than the Supra? I don't think so. Honestly, my only car that's faster than the Supra might be... It might be the Concept 2. Again, I'm not 100% sure. Should I try to race him with the Navera? I know it's electric and it's kind of cheating, racing an electric car versus a gas car. But again, I really want to win. Alright, what is the top speed again? I need to take a look at the tune. 286 miles per hour, okay. So it's definitely faster than the Supra. Where did bro go? Damn, this car goes 150 in reverse? I feel like it can do even more. It'll do like maybe 200 in reverse. This car would definitely go faster in reverse than like 100 miles. Alright, let me try it again. $160? Wow. $170? We just did 170 miles in reverse, bro. Isn't that crazy? That's some crazy stuff. It's kind of tough keeping it straight while going reverse, you know. We almost hit 200 in reverse. No way. That's crazy. I feel like this car can literally hit its top speed in reverse. Because there are no gears. The electric motor is just spinning the other way. Alright, I need to hit 200 officially in reverse. There we go. We just hit 225. 225 miles per hour in reverse. No way. Imagine hitting 280 in reverse. That would be next level. Alright, I'm gonna try right here because it's kind of straight. The highway is kind of straight from here, so I'm gonna switch to this view so I can look at the rearview mirror. Alright, let's start. Oh no. That did not work out that well. That's okay. We're not gonna keep on doing this. The GT2 RS? Yeah, why not drive this car for a little bit? Six-speed manual. And it's bone stock. And we got real analog gauges. That's what I like. Alright, let's get off the highway. Again, this car is not the same thing as the GT3 RS. Because GT3 RS is a 4-liter naturally aspirated flat 6. Where this is a 3.8-liter twin turbo. Let me double check on that. 3.6 liter. Okay, 3.6 liter twin turbo. The 911 Turbo S is 3.8 liters twin turbo, where this is a little older. That's why it's 3.6 twin turbo. So it's more power and torque compared to the GT3 RS. But this is focused more towards speed and less towards handling. Not that it handles bad, it handles really good. But it's not at the same level as a GT3 RS. Alright, I'm gonna switch to a different Porsche here. The 718 Cayman GTS, the baby 911. This is literally one of my fastest 4-cylinder turbo cars. Rear wheel drive, nice small platform, it's super light. Handles really good. Drives really good. Alright, let's not forget about the E63, the car that we started with today. Let me go back to it. The rear-wheel drive E63. Well, it was all-wheel drive from factory, but we changed it to rear-wheel drive. And now it's a freaking beast. 900 horsepower beast. Get out of my way, bro. It's got power for days. More torque than a freight train. Again, it's not going to handle the same as a Porsche, because it's still heavy even after the weight reduction, but it's a fun car. That V8 rumble at lower RPMs, man, can't beat that sound. Oh no. Crashed the AMG, bro. OMG, we crashed the AMG. Alright. That was a fun session, everybody. We're gonna call it a night here. We'll continue in the next session. And until then, peace out, everybody. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It really helps me out. Catch you later.